The first draft isn't where your novel gets good, it's where your novel gets to exist at all, and conflating those two jobs is what stalls more manuscripts than any actual plot problem. In this episode, why write it badly on purpose is genuinely the most useful advice for a first draft, a simple, boring daily target that actually finishes novels, and exactly what to do the moment you get stuck on a scene, instead of staring at the same paragraph for a week. This is episode 5 of How to Write a Novel, Start to Finish. The single biggest reason first drafts don't get finished is that writers try to make each sentence good before allowing themselves to move on to the next one. That's an editing instinct, and it has genuinely no place in a first draft. Your only job right now is to get the scene down in some form you can fix later, however clumsy. A messy, finished draft can always be revised into something good. A polished half draft that stalled out at chapter 6 cannot, because there's nothing there yet to actually revise. Forget word count heroics and ambitious weekend sprints. A modest, repeatable daily target, 500 words, 4 days a week, will finish a full novel in well under a year without heroics. An ambitious target you can only realistically hit twice before burning out will finish nothing at all. Consistency compounds over months. Motivation reliably does not. Pick a target small enough that you could still hit it on a genuinely bad, tired, low motivation day, not just on your best ones. Say you're aiming for 500 words, 4 mornings a week. That's roughly 2,000 words a week, 8,000 a month, and a complete 80,000 word novel in 10 months, without ever writing more than a short blog post's worth of words in a single sitting. Compare that to an ambitious plan of 3,000 words a day, which sounds faster on paper, but statistically gets abandoned within 2 or 3 weeks for almost everyone who tries it. The boring, sustainable plan finishes novels. The exciting one mostly finishes first chapters. If a scene genuinely isn't working, don't sit there and force it word by word. Write a single bracketed line describing what needs to happen there, and move on to the next scene you do feel ready to write today. Novels are not actually required to be drafted in the order they'll eventually be read. Momentum on any part of the manuscript is worth more right now than getting one specific scene perfectly right on the first attempt, which rarely happens anyway. Resist the urge to reread and quietly polish what you wrote yesterday before writing today. It eats real drafting time and reinforces the exact instinct to perfect sentences too early that this whole episode is trying to talk you out of. If you need a warm-up, skim just the last page for continuity, then move straight forward. The full reread and the real edit both happen later, deliberately, once the entire draft actually exists to read. Give yourself real permission to write badly. Use a small, repeatable target instead of an ambitious, unsustainable one. Skip stuck scenes rather than forcing them word by word. And keep editing completely out of the drafting process that comes later on purpose. Once you have a complete, messy first draft in hand, the real shaping work finally begins. Episode 6 covers revision, how to actually turn a rough draft into a novel, in the right order, without getting overwhelmed. Subscribe and I'll see you there.